Alrighty then, welcome back everybody, welcome back to the drawing. So, today I'm gonna be finishing up this bit and then hopefully get towards the next bit, which is the coloring part. And then we can actually get to the internal design of the entire page, because, well, you know, that's the whole joke of this. So, time to get this up and running and hopefully get to where I want to be with this. So we have this already here. Now I need to fix some bits here and there, like right here. And then over here, there you go. There you go. And then of course here again. There we go. And then of course here. Alright, now we have done that part. Now it's time to get the rest up and running. I'm gonna be putting that on a different layer because I realized that it was a little bit of a mistake doing it in one go. Oh well. So it's just gonna be detail work, which should be easily done. It's not that hard, to be honest. It's just a lot of, you know, ups and downs when you try to do things. So it's basically, you know, putting a lot of tension on your hand and that's it. There we go. And then of course adding in here as well the thing. There we go. And then we're gonna go to the next one. There we go. And then, oh, come on. Need to make sure that I also have this bit. There you go. And then this one. Easy. All right, and then this one as well. There we go. And then the one last bit over here. And eventually, you know, we have everything that I need for this to be, well, you know, completed on the entire texturing part, luckily. All right. Now the question is like, how do I want to do this bit? This bit is like that. I want to keep this bit like so. I want to keep it open. But this bit, I need to make sure that I have that very strict. There we go. Now we have done that, we have done that. Now it is the question like, what do I want to do here? I think a low amount of texturing is already good enough. That's good enough, right? Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, that's a light amount. Alright, now we have done that. Now we can actually get to the next bit. So first things first, adding into the groups. There you go. And now we're going to make a new group. And now I actually want to see if I can get this color done properly. That's stupid. There we go. Now we actually have some decent coloring for this. Now we can actually get the whole damn thing up and running. First things first, add in the light color, or well, the baseline color, then add in the light color, then in the dark color. And luckily with all of this, I already have like a lot of texture on the drawing, so I don't have to worry about most of the things. There we go. I'm just gonna fill up the things that I need to fill up, and then after that I'm gonna be using a different color to get all the things finalized. I first want to see how this looks, and that's all. Alright, now we have the first bit done. Now it's time to see if I can get the next coloring up and running. But first, time to fix the line a bit, the line work a bit. Because after that I can actually just go alpha, and then that is all easy. Just the bits behind all of it. There you go. And by adding in color, it also means that if I would have drawn softly, it wouldn't show up that good. So now, if I now remove this, I can see that that is indeed a problem. So I prefer this one over that. There we go. All right. And then time to get the rest up and doing things like so. There we go. Now we have that colored up. Now I can actually get the next bit, which is a lighter color. So let's see if that works. There we go. Here we go. Now with that lighting upgrade, that actually will work pretty well, which I really am liking, so. And now I can exactly see what kind of stuff I need to remove. This doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter. Yes. Alright, time to continue. Alright, and then of course going to the other side. Alright, and now we're gonna go to the next bit, which is the darker color. That's too much. That's too dark. Alright. Now the question is, do I want to go for that or do I want to go for this? I think I can do it. I think I can pull it off. So let's see if I can pull it off. That means that I need to remove these ones and then see how that turns out to be. Oh, that can still work. Good. Alright. Time to do some bits and pieces here of fixing things. Alright, now that is all solved, time to get the rest up and running. go. Alright, now we have that, we have that, we have that. Then I need to make sure that I have this one still there. Alright, now I have done that. That looks a lot better now. Less cluttered. That means I can now actually get the rest up and running again. So time to get that color again. Where is it? Here it is. You don't have to overdo the texturing, that's the whole joke. That's why I cut it off. Alright. Then go back here, fix that bit up. That one is all good. Back at drawing dark colors. Alright, that should work. Now we have done that. Then I can get the next bit up and running, which is then this bit. And I noticed something. There we go. Easy. Alright, now we have done that, we have done that. Now we're almost complete. I think that actually will work pretty well. Or do I need to already go for yellow on this? Yellow on it would be better. There we go, and then of course a lighter effect on the top part. Alright, now we have the first bit done, we have the top part done. Now it's time to get the second bit, which is the bottom part, and that needs to be that color. Alright, now we need to get this thing done. That means I need to go here with this. And then go right like this, right? Or do I want to go for a little bit of a bluish kind of effect? That's the question. What kind of color do I need for this? We have purple already. That won't work. Alright. What kind of color do I then... What kind of color can I use? Orange could work. Alright. Let's go for orange then. Could I go also for red? Or is red too much of an aggressive color? It is too much of an aggressive color. So it's orange instead. Then I need to grab this color. I can also go for this, but no, I think that one of skills is better. Alright, then we have the first bit done. Now, time to get the darker color in, and then it should be working quite well here on this side. A little bit more darker. Tiny bit. Yeah, there we go. And then once this is done, I can then actually start with the horns and the crystals on the in the back, and that should then give me enough leeway to figure out like what kind of color I want to go for the legs. Most likely the legs will be the same kind of color, but a variation of the blue, which makes it then a little bit more different. Because I'm already using like a purple-ish blue effect that is quite aggressive as a color itself, so I need to be wary of that. I also figured out that this bit needs to be removed, this one needs to be removed, and this bit. Then I spotted here a mistake, which I need to fix. There you go. Now we have the first bit done. Now it's time to get those crystals up and running, which is going to be on top of this, and that is going to be a purple rhino. So let's go here and see if I can get this color working well. I can be using that. Now the question is like, do I want to go for that kind of color or not? That's the question. I think... Oh god, that's terrible. First dark color. Ah! Hold up. Wrong layer. There we go. Now I have the right layer. Like, do I want to go for this kind of color? I think I want to do that. That actually looks already a lot better. Far more aggressive kind of look. I like it. That's one crystal, that's two crystals colored in. Well, it's not fully colored in, it's just the base color, but I need to first do that so that I can actually decide like what kind of color I want to go for. Right now the red is actually quite well because it actually complements the drawing itself. If I would have gone for purple itself, then it would actually be bad, because then the crystal doesn't work well with what I want to do with it. Alright. There we go. Because the red actually does give a very more aggressive color scheme. I like it. I think I will keep the red. Alright, now we have the first bit done. Now we need to get the second bit done, which is then the getting this red to be looking like a crystal instead of, you know, just sharp horns, basically. So time to do that. By making sure I have that effect. Then the question is like, how do I want to do this? Because I have this kind of effect now. Or I can go for this and then add that in that side. So I have two ways of doing this. So I can either go for this one, or I can go for this bit right here. And this bit right here. But that will leave, you know, an issue on the sideline, so that's not gonna happen. So I need to go for this one instead. Then I need a darker color on the sideline for this to work. There is an issue here. I can fix that issue quite well. By implementing a third color, that should give me the things to give that effect quite well. Yes, that works. However, now it turns a little bit too aggressive, so that's bad. How do I fix this? I can see if I can get it lighter up and then see how that works. So what if I add in a lighter color to it? How about a bluer color? Ooh. That will not work. But darker blue color then. No, that is because of that. Okay. So I need to have a lighter color on the top side. That's for sure. I need to have a lighter color on the top side. I need to make sure that these horns are like so. Yes. And then I need to make sure that... Okay. I see. That means I need to make sure that I have this like... I don't want to go for red. I do want to go for red, but not aggressive. So... this color. Nope. Just plain up red. And then, of course, adding in a darker color on the sideline. And then from there on, I need to then do the crystal effect. Yes. So now we have now we kept actually still the red color, but now we're going to be fixing up the things that I have here. So these are the colors that I'm aiming for. So now we need to go and make that happening again. There you go. And now we're going to do it the same here. So first we're going to go for a lighter color. And now those horns look very ferocious. Nice. Alright, now we need to go and add some stuff to it as well. Yes. Alright, now we have done that. Now it's time to get the next bit up and running, which is then the top side here. These ones are actually different because these are actually quite well done. I could technically go for that approach, right? Or do I want to go for the same kind of approach as beforehand? Let's save it first because I don't want to lose progress here. Then go for the summer thumbnail, so that's going to be in DG Drawings and then me. And then skewer him now to the new island thumbnail. That's the one I'm looking for, because here we have this. So how did I do this one? Backline and then backline. Alright, so that's how to do it. So it's backline and then light colors on the sideline.
That's doable. And then after that, so we have now this one, we have that one, we have the normal color. Check, 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 check. Making sure that that color is still there. And then after that, I need to make sure that I have the lighter color up and running. So now we're going to go for a lighter color. That's too much. Alright. Now, let's see, the same color is still used here. Alright, so now I'm going to be putting a little bit more like that. Nope. Alright, there you go. That should work. So that's how I did those things. Can I then also do that on the horn part? Most likely, yes. That means technically that I need to make sure that I have this one. So if I want to do it on the horn part as well, which I can do. Right now I'm actually not doing that, so time to see if I can now actually fix it. The mistake I left behind. So we have the main color right here. So we have the main color right here, then we're going to go for the next color, which is the lighter color, and then after that it's going to be the second color. So that's going to be like this, with that. This, with that. Then it's going to be a lighter color. So now it's going to be the light color over here. With then of course added in crystal effect. And that works. That works. However, this bit needs to have like a little bit of a jagged line here. Alright, now we have done that. Now we need to get to the next bit, which of course implementing a color that actually is back representing entirely on the drawing. So therefore we have the crystals on the rhino. Now we need to have that color that we have in the crystals also on the rhino itself. So we already have the color that we have, and then I think if we add in this bit like that, yes, that will work. Alright, so now we need to make sure that we have these things colored up, and then we can actually see like if I'm correct here with the coloring issue. Of course there are some bits here that I need to fix, but oh well. Coloring is always not my strong suit. But then again, it's fun to do. go. And then of course, once I have the red, I can then actually say like, alright, instead of red, I want to go for yellow or green or whatever kind of color I want to go for. Because technically I have not yet colored in the teeth. I have not yet colored in the eyes, which are all things that need to be, which all have like things that I need to be wary of. There you go, the wary. That's the word, wary. Wary of, because, well, alright. Oh god. Oh god, for fuck's sake. I should have known, I should have closed that one. Oh well. Luckily we have the thing that I have here, so not much of here is screwed over, so that's good. What has not been saved? The crystals itself. I think this one is actually better, maybe. Could be useful. But first I need to fix this bit, so I'm gonna do that. Now, for fuck's sake, why is it always on yellow? It's not the last color that I've been using. Alright, now we're gonna go back here, and I'm gonna be doing the thing that I wanted to do in the first place. So, again, dark color, dark color in the middle. Dark color in the middle, and then after that it's gonna be all lighter. And then we have a darker color. And then of course again this bit right here. Alright, so now we're gonna be doing the same thing here. Let's do this again. There we go. Grab that. Alright. And now we're gonna need to have that so that's not the color I'm looking for. Check. Great. Always a thing that happens. Luckily I can fix it quite easily. Alright. Now I'm gonna be doing a smart move here and just do it on a different layer and then merge them together afterwards. That's the color I'm looking for. Give me that color. Do I want to do that, or do I not want to do that? I think this is good enough. Yes. Okay, so let's save it again before it crashes again like a piece of shit that it is always. Especially when I try to do things. Alright. Fucking 50 minutes already in, damn it. Alright. I think I will leave it here for now. But as you can see, we got actually pretty good progress here. The crystals are now done. The color is done. The things that I wanted to decide is done. And then once I'm, well, you know, fully workable with this. So once I now do this and add in, for instance, this one right here. I can then add in the color for the nose and the ears. Things will look a lot better. I think that needs to be like that color right there. Because right now I have this, and then after that I can actually get the rest up and running. Then of course I can add in the eyes as well. I'll do that, and then after that I will call it quits. So there we go. Those are the ears. The ears are now fully colored in. That is good. Now time to do the eyes. So what I want to do here with the eyes is quite easy. First we're going to go for white, which is here. Then we're going to go for a darker color to get this bit up and running. Then of course adding in a little bit more darker effect and a lighter effect on top. Then after that, the eye is gonna be a separate piece, so I need to make sure that that is in group. Then I need to get myself the grayscaling for this. A little more darker. Then add in a lighter color effect. That could work. However, I need to make sure that that is correct, so let's do this then. And then I need to get the lighter effect here. Nice. That looks good. Honestly, that looks good. I like it. Save. Nice. Alright, let's save it like that, and then call it a day for today. Oh, hey. Hello, Ricardo Balas. How are you doing? The drawing is looking really good. Yeah, actually, it is actually looking good. The main issue with this thing is always like, you know, I had the old drawing here. Like, what? Let me just grab that. It is the old drawing here. This one right here. And I also created a new design. Well, the color design, basically. And I was like, all right, how do I improve upon this and then see if I can get it into another position so I can actually get it right. And right now I actually have this, which is a far more aggressive kind of color towards it. Well, it's just me and you. Yeah, that's true. But that doesn't mean anything. I honestly think that it's actually quite nice that you popped in. Because, well, you know, it's always good to see, you know, have a second opinion upon things. Because right now I'm thinking like, I could keep with the idea of having the yellow effect on it. So I need to figure out like which kind of color I want to go for the pattern. Which is the main issue here. If I just grab that, this is the crystal part, and this is gonna be this is the thing there. Yes, so these things need to be grouped. So what I'm now dealing with is actually what kind of color do I want to go for here, because I can actually go for this kind of color. Like if I'm gonna go for this, that is yellow, which doesn't fit well, because that will make the aggressive red look way apart. So that's the problem with that. But if I'm going for red here, for instance, and I just pick that up, and I'll just draw the bits here and there, you can see that that actually does work. However, it creates some kind of shading effect, which I don't like, because that is like, you know, if I have this and then I have the blue around, so I have the blue around, nah, not that blue, this blue, I have this blue around, that creates some kind of depth that I don't want. I don't want to have unnecessary depth in the drawing itself, so that's the main issue. So I'm thinking about going for light red because of that, or going for yellow. However, yellow is not always the nicest color for this because it is itself is actually quite aggressive. So if I do this, you can see that that is also sometimes an issue. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go for a little bit of a very slow red. So that's what I'm aiming for here on this thing. Alright, bye! Have a lovely day then, because, well, you know, I need to do this anyway, so why not? Oh, for fuck's sake. Why is this always such a pain in the ass to do properly? Ugh. Or do I need to add shading to it? Oh, fuck, I need to add shading to this, ain't I? Yeah, because if I do this, that should work. Yep, that's the thing. That's the way to do it. Sweet. So I need to make sure that I have that line that I already drew, and then of course adding in the things that I need to do. So first I'm gonna go for that red, and then add in the lighter colors wherever I need to have that. So here, here, and here. That is then the color. Then I need to add a darker color on the sideline. And I need to add a darker color on the sideline on these things. There you go. With then a lighter color on top. Oh boy. Yeah, that works. That works. Alright, I have now the colors that I need, so now I can just add in the things casually. Which is gonna be a pain in the ass because it's so many fucking things, but oh well. Progress is progress on these things. Step by step I will get it right, and then after this, you know, once I have this drawing done, or once I have this bit done, I can then actually add in the environment that I want to add into it, which is the whole joke with this thing. Alright. Let's see. Oh, fucking hell, it's already 1 hour in. Jesus. It takes always so long. Coloring things in from scratch is always a fucking pain. But it's progress. No. Oh, no, I need to have this thing like that. That thing like that. Then I need to grab this bit with that bit and then call it a day. Oh, fuck. And then that should work. Yes. Alright, so now I have what I want with this. I think that it actually looks good. So I'm gonna be saving it here and I'm gonna call it because, well, I need to make sure that always 1 hour and no more, no less, because otherwise, you know, you're losing focus on the drawing. And these things require focus, which is the main issue with this thing always. So I hope you all have enjoyed for now, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, I want to wish you a lovely day, and bye!